What does it mean to be a woman to me will have to be something that's absolutely complete. A woman is someone who's capable of so much. You know, she can be a daughter, a sister, a mother, a lover, a child, a working woman, a creative person, an artist, a singer, a performer. So I think a woman, a complete woman, encompasses everything that one can do. So that's my idea of a woman. So I started off as a PR professional, and I was constantly looking for something that would really catch my soul. PR was lovely. I loved PR. I did law in the beginning, but it never really was me. But PR was exactly me. Event management. It suited my personality. I loved practicing it. I practiced it for almost 10 years, and then we emigrated to Australia, to Sydney, Australia. I had my first child, and after the child was born, my son was a year old, I decided that I was getting a bit bored of just being a mom. Although there's a lot of hard work, but you know, I was getting a bit bored. So I decided to sort of venture out and think what I'd like to do next. And my passion has always been collecting jewelry. So I thought, let me try and go and venture and look at maybe making jewelry. Luck has it that we lived in the city in Sydney, and in the next block to my apartment was the Gemological Association of Australia. And so naturally I went there and I started off doing gemology, and eventually then progressed to doing metalsmithing, which is silver and gold. And I picked up a lot of other bits and pieces like hand-blown glass, leather tanning, lots of other bits and pieces that would allow me to come out with my own creations. And the rest of it was just my creativity. So it started when, so my son's now 18, so it started 17 years ago. And we moved to Malaysia in 2012 to look after my mom, who was very ill at that point. I brought the business down. I brought the business down to Malaysia. The brand is called Vicky G. The reason when I started in Australia, it was to actually introduce color to Australian women, because I think Australian women are very conservative. They would either wear pearls or they would wear nude tones or pastels. And I love colors, you know. I would mix and match colors that you would never think of. So that was one of my ideals, or my dreams, was to introduce color to Australian women. And I did quite successfully do it. I started off with jewelry parties, you know, like Tupperware parties that they used to have. I used to do jewelry parties where I would get friends of mine to host a party, invite friends, have some afternoon tea, and I would bring my trays of jewelry and display it, and women would go and come and buy, and we talk about it. I'll talk about styling, how they can actually venture out of their comfort zone from just wearing a string of pearls to maybe wearing reds and blues and greens and different textures of jewelry, different sizes of stones. And I must say it was a great success. I had this fantastic school mum. Her name was Tess Penny, who was a photographer. And both of us worked so well together. She would take pictures of all the jewelry, and so we started off Facebook. Instagram was never, I'm a tech dinosaur, and you know, that was never my forte. But I wanted to get the jewelry out there. So Tess helped me with Facebook. My niece Priya Ranganathan helped me with setting up my Instagram page. And slowly from there, I became a bit more well-versed, and I'm a bit of a selfie queen now. Yeah, and now it's the two loves that I have is are earrings. You know, earrings as in more jhumkas, as they call it, those umbrella type earrings. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to introduce that. It's a very Indian thing, but I wanted to globalize the jhumka. And I wanted to do a fusion, not just jhumkas that will have little pearls. I would have them with leather, rudrakshas, glass beads. I would infuse East and West, Oriental styles. So it's been an exciting journey of creation for me. Okay, the other thing that I had, so what I do, I'm a metalsmith. So silver, gold, all other metals, gemology. It's a very male-dominated industry in Asia per se. In Australia, there are lots of female jewelers. But in Malaysia, it's very, very male-dominated because, they work with a lot of machinery. So what happened was that the interesting story that I have to share, when I moved to Malaysia and I was looking to make custom-made gold and silver jewelry, I couldn't bring all my machinery from Sydney to here. So I had to go around looking for someone who would allow me to use their machines, because it's extremely intricate. There are lots of machines that is needed to, even just to make one wedding band maybe. So when I went and approached some of them and they said, "Oh, you're a woman, how can you manage machinery?" And I'm like, hello, women do brain surgery, and women have traveled to the moon, and women build planes. Working with jewelry machinery is not a big deal. I mean, the mindset of, I think, Asian men needs to sort of shift, because they assume that it's a man's world. I think there's a bit, they're possessive about their trade. But tradesmanship, craftsmanship, jewelry making, metalsmithing is no rocket science. It's a skill that one picks up. So that was an interesting matter that I noticed, that it took me a while to actually penetrate the market here, to just to sort of get machinery, get supplies, and to be able to work with the men in the industry who actually dominate the Asian jewelry market. And most of the time, it's a family. It's passed down. It's family business that's passed down from father to son, never to the daughter. The daughters are normally behind the scenes, or they work in the office, or they manage the accounts. But it's always the men who actually make or work with the machines. So for me to come up to them and challenge them, I think that was a bit of a tricky situation. But I used my charms and all was good. So yeah. I think the ultimate goal is, it's very simple. I just want to be a good human being, someone who's loving, someone who's able to give back to society, a woman who is going to be able to inspire my two boys. I've got two sons who are 18 and 15. The one thing that I have always instilled in them is respect. Respect for women, respect for men, respect for everything in the world, the earth, animals, all genders. And the other thing would be to inspire other women to work, find your passion, never settle, never give up. Self-love. Self-love is another big thing for me. I think counseled rather a lot of my friends, a lot of my women that I know, younger, older, same age as me, through the years. And I want to continue doing that, and ultimately inspire more and more people to be the best version of themselves.